Hi everyone, I wanted to share a quick video today showing a fun and effective triad exercise which I've been working on recently. Not only is this generally a great exercise to test your command of the fretboard, it's also a really musical pattern which we can call upon when wanting to create some interesting outside sounds for dominant tension. Since I've recently shared quite a bit about the triad pair concept and ways to use them, I thought this exercise would be a great way to demonstrate how we can combine any set of triads to highlight the desired sound of a scale or harmonic function. So simply, this exercise pairs together two major triads a tritone apart and cycles through their inversions. This combination of triads brings out a half-whole symmetrical diminished scale, which works great for dominant tension. If we apply this to B-flat dominant, the triads we'll be using is a B-flat major and an E major. So the exercise is to alternate between these two triads while using their different inversions to voice lead. So if we start with a root position B-flat major triad, our closest inversion of E major, if ascending, is going to be a second inversion. Going back to B-flat, we then get a first inversion B-flat major, moving to the E major in root position. Finally, before getting back to our starting point, but an octave higher, we'll play the B-flat major triad in second inversion and then the E major in first inversion. So even though these triads are a tritone apart, you can hear how smoothly it sounds to alternate between them when using their different inversions to voice lead. This is quite a dramatic sound and therefore a great pattern to use to grab attention, so something that could work really well as a solo break, for example. As this sound is implying a B-flat dominant tension, it's creating a strong desire to want to resolve to E-flat major, as that would be our tonic. Typically, we associate the sound of B-flat half-whole diminished with a B-flat 13 flat 9 chord. These two triads in relation to B-flat give us the root third and fifth, with the E major triad providing the sharp 11th and the flat 7th and flat 9th. So all strong notes that are diatonic to this dominant half-whole diminished scale. Really, a good way to visualize this exercise is as a harmonic function, and to think of it as sort of implying a tritone substitution. So E7 is the tritone sub of B-flat 7, and by pairing them together as triads, this can get us into this sort of tritone sub sound that wants to resolve to our tonic E-flat major. Now, to learn this pattern across the fretboard, I've mapped it out from each inversion of B-flat major starting on the low E string. This is how I decided to define the positions and organize them in a practical way. So instead of applying this pattern to all 5 fretboard positions, I find the fingerings work better when moving horizontally across the fretboard, whereas staying within a single box position can lead to awkward transitions between some of the triad inversions, so the execution doesn't quite flow as well in my opinion. I've written these positions out in the attached PDF, as well as what I played earlier when demonstrating this idea resolving to E-flat major. Also, something I find useful and recommend practicing for any triad or two-note scale exercise is exploring the different permutations for cycling through the inversions. For example, as we cycle through the inversions, we're currently going from the bottom note of each inversion to the top note as we ascend. However, we can also go from the top note to the bottom note instead while still ascending. So we can also alternate this, so for the B-flat triad we can go bottom to top, and then for the E triad we can go top to bottom. Flip them around. These 4 permutations can also be applied when descending, resulting in a total of 8 variations. Something to note is that opposites attract in this context, so if you ascend by playing each triad from bottom to top, it pairs well to use the top to bottom permutation when descending. This isn't mandatory, but it just creates a smoother transition when changing direction, as it's essentially reversing the exercise and playing it backwards. I find this combination is the most comfortable for the fingers, and it's the one I've focused on in the PDF, but it's always worth experimenting with the other options. I've written out these permutations in a load of past exercises, so I'll link a couple below, such as my full triad workout and my post on the Coltrane pentatonic scale, where I demonstrate the variations in thirds. So I hope you enjoy this idea and find it a fun addition to your playing. I personally love the direct sound of pairing these two triads together when wanting to dramatically imply dominant tension, as it provides a nice eyebrow-raising moment for the listener. If you want a deeper understanding of the symmetrical diminished scale, I've linked the collection where you can find my video lesson on it, as well as all the extra material full of stuff which will get you understanding and using it in no time. Something I also wanted to let you know is that I recently went through all of my Patreon posts and organized all of the ones that could be considered an exercise or a fretboard workout, and I organized them all into its own collection, just so that you can easily find and discover all of that kind of material in one place. This lesson will be added there as well, and I'll link the collection below. Anyway, have fun practicing, and I will see you soon.